Hi there, it's Pete the Hipster King from the Hairy Game Lords, and this evening we have been playing this Uluk from Hexy Studio. This is a prototype coming to Kickstarter soon. What did we think? Stay tuned to find out. So Uluk is a worker placement game and kind of resource management game. You are playing a small tribe in a kind of fantasy land. You're going to be placing your tribe members out either worshipping the gods to try and win favour and happiness. You're going to be out hunting and growing, either harvesting or hunting to gather food and resources, and then you're going to be changing those food and resources via processes into edible stuff that you can then feed your workers with. And if you overfeed your workers, you're going to be able to reproduce and have new workers, and there's a whole load of extra scoring if you create certain foods that are kind of party foods. You can have a celebration at the end if you've got enough food left, and that'll give you bonus points. Really kind of on the light medium weight end of gaming this. We've played at 2 and at 4. At 4 becomes the competition for resources becomes really painful. There's a lot of that kind of, so at that point is a lot of player interaction. I'm not sure how much of that was deliberate and how much of it was just we were after our own stuff and you just fill up the spaces. At 2 there was a lot more freedom to kind of run your game plan through. It's a really nice game in terms of the artwork. The artwork is gorgeous. They'll talk. There's some beautiful minis which we'll show you in a minute. But yeah, really nice game. Definitely check it out.
Greetings, y'all. 'Tis I and the bearded lady, and this evening we've played this. Love, love, love the artwork. It's all on the board. Let me show you the board. Ooh, nice.
Beautifully done.
There it is. Woohoo! And then you've got some very nice. It's Hexy Studio, so you're going to have some amazing minis that go along the top. The different temples, would you call it, or shrines? Are these monuments that are built? Check out them, proper cool. Here's another one. Nice. So they go along the top as and when, or if and when they are built. And then, yeah, you all have a different character that you are playing, and these are your player boards. Like we say, this is a prototype, so whether or not it'll be thicker or not, who knows? But you have all of your different kind of like foods that you can collect along the top, and then everybody has slightly different kind of like ways in which you can produce the food. So some of them make 2 times, some others make they're like perishable ones. Others you can like jump and make special, unique things with, which is great. If you make food to feed your peeps that's of the green variety, you get points depending on how many people you feed. If you do it on a if you make it in a orange variety, you feed your people, but you don't get points. There are other things as well that you can do in terms of, making the party stuff. But then there are also stuff which, if you do not sort it out and make it into edible food there and then, it will perish on that turn. That is what I did a few times. Because at the beginning you start off with 4 workers, and yes, you've got to feed your 4 people, but you also need to play the game right to be able to bring in, to have leftover food so that you can bring in more workers. I took a while to get some more workers to the table. Everybody else was like, "Hey, brilliant, we've got loads of workers. Ange, it's your turn." I'd be like, "Yeah, I've put all my workers down." But finally got there, finally got more people. There's some end scoring as well that you can get involved with. I didn't. And that's why actually I came very much last. But still enjoyable game. And actually, although I didn't do very well, I wasn't that far behind somebody who worked really, really, really hard at doing well. So whether that means it's a good game in terms of like helps people like myself catch up, or whether that's a slur on the person who worked really, really hard and didn't do very well, Pete, I'll just leave that with you. But enjoyed the game. Good stuff. Check it out.
Oh, slightly beardy James here. This is a game of skill, and you know the way I know that? It's because I've won 2 out of 2 games, and it's because I'm really, really good at games, okay? So I actually preferred this at 2 players because I loved the way that you had the freedom to do your own thing. But tonight, playing with 4, it was tight, it was cutthroat, and it took a long time waiting for Dave to choose what he was going to do. But then again, it is really interesting talking about Moon Knight. So now, one of the don't worry, he's going to go after me. He's going to be able to have get a couple of digs in. One of the things I didn't get about this game is so here is Andrew's badger board. No wait, hippo board. That's my hippo board. There's Andrew's badger board, and there's the slight differences there. In fact, like there's only one slight difference that I could tell. And that is that it cost me more to turn fish into meat. Maybe I just misunderstood it, but like, there's the asymmetry in this, but I didn't get it. I think like they could have done more with that. Maybe they will because it is still prototype. One of the things that I like the most about this game is so you're placing your workers down here, and you've got this little sliding track up here. So if the blobber's here, then you're going to be getting 1 or 0 if you're second on that location. But if the blobber's up at the top there, then you're going to be getting 3 or 2 at that location. Really, really like the way that this simulates hunting, gathering, resources, and so there's a kind of quite an organic feel, because if you go to a place, for example, there's loads and loads of chicken roots, chicken gingers, and you grab all the chicken gingers.
Not the official name.
Not the official name. Then that is going to be depleted, and it'll be depleted, and then actually over time, if you don't hunt and gather in those places, then it grows back up. So it's got a real kind of like nice kind of ecological edge to it. It is, I don't know, the most typical kind of feed your workers that I've ever seen. The whole thing is the struggle to eat and survive and to grow as a tribe. But then at the top here, you want to spend your workers up here to get essentially points. And up at the top is where you're going to be building those beautiful mini sections here. So we've got a couple of these. So this one here is that hammer-headed one. There's a little bonus there. If you manage to finish that one, then you are going to bring in more fish meat in. I assume that's a fish. So there's a little bit of kind of manipulation of the resources on the board there. But it's a bit of a pit for losing your workers into. So as you put your workers up there, they're not going to be producing food for you, which is a bit of a trade-off for getting points. And so it's got some interesting decisions to make. One of my other favourite things is down at the bottom here, you can't see them because they would be on the table, are some cards. I'm guessing Dave will bring them out because Dave also liked the technologies. Technologies are fantastic. Technologies are a great way to get your tribe ahead in life. So there's a lot of clever things about this game, and it was nice to play, and it in some ways scratches that kind of like tribe civilization on a small scale itch, like looking after your little people and stuff. But at the same time, like, I don't know, it left us wanting a bit more in some places. But if you like the whole kind of processing your raw materials into bigger and better things and doing like some clever combinations, then you will like this game. As for me, I'd play it again, and I'll probably win again. Yeah.
Hi, Baked Great. So, Uluk. Uluk is, I would say, a nice entry-level worker placement. I enjoyed it. Doesn't tax the grey cells particularly hard, although I did lose quite badly, so maybe I should have taxed them just a little bit more. But what it does really nicely. So I would say, yeah, a good one for people that haven't played a lot of worker placement stuff because everything kind of makes sense. You get your workers, you feed them. To be honest, I got a couple of extra workers quite early doors, got quite excited, spent the rest of the game feeding them. That was my game. It was great. And I'll be honest, I'm a very benevolent leader, and all of my workers were very well fed for the entire game. Didn't get loads of points. I didn't send them off like worshipping at temples and what have you, but they were fed. So there is that. So personally, as you know, a bit of a lefty, wishy-washy, liberal type person, I think that's a win for me. So screw you, James, with your capitalist, work them, flog them, make them starve because you want to build a temple. None of that. Feed your workers, look after them. They'll do you right in the end. Couple of other things that help you out and got me a couple of points, despite all of my just like being nice to everybody, are these technology cards. So dead easy. You can send your worker to research some technology, and you get stuff like this. So when you harvest some sort of pumpkin-y effort, you also find a mushroom. Wahey! And with that one, when you have some mushrooms, you can, for free, without actually having a worker prepare them, you can make 2 of your mushrooms into some sort of weird chopped mushroom. That's the kind of exciting food that my proles were eating. Chopped mushroom and some sort of pumpkin mash. Yummy. And, oh yeah, witchetty grubs. You get witchetty grubs as well. Grubs, mushrooms, pumpkin mash. Lovely. It's Ace being some sort of mad tribesman. It's great. Or caveman or whatever. Yeah, none of your fancy food, but that's probably because the gods were really displeased with me because I didn't go and worship them. Maybe that was it. But yeah, if you want a good, solid worker placement, certainly, as I say, for people that haven't had loads of experience in that kind of thing, give it a try. Thoroughly entertaining. And yeah, everybody else will say that they did really well with points. I had satisfied workers, and that's good enough for me.